It's always strange for me as I go through the PC Engine library when I hit a game where I've already talked about its Famicom counterpart. In this case, the Famicom version of Titan preceded the PC Engine version by about 6 months. And that Famicom version was not good. But the PC Engine's a more powerful machine, even if the PC Engine version is the first PC Engine game by developer ISCO. ISCO was a small development house who are best known for... Oh, that ain't good. Okay, that's a bad sign. But still, Titan's not an original work, so maybe if they have some solid material to work from, they can pull something out. Titan was originally created by French developer Titus for European microcomputers. And Titus was best known for, well, a lot of second-tier junk. And I'm being generous by calling it second-tier. Titan was created before Titus sank to the depths of things like Superman 64 and the Blues Brothers 2000. But it's not like they were doing great work at that time either. The plot of Titan is, well, there isn't one. There is just the stage goal. You need to bounce the ball around so that it destroys all of the removable blocks on a stage. Once you do that, you advance to the next one. There are 16 worlds consisting of 4 stages each, though it's not like the game actually progresses or changes things up between worlds. They just act as the breakpoints where you can get passwords for continuing. You can set the level between 1 and 5 when you start the game, but the only difference between that level is the time limit on every stage. You're controlling the square called the MCU, and you can freely move it around the open space in every level. It's perfect for bouncing the ball off one of your flat surfaces or one of your corners. Something that you'll notice is that the ball can only bounce in 45-degree angle increments. Even the Famicom version allowed for more bounce angles than this. 45 degrees limits your shots a lot, and making things worse, the ball doesn't interact with corners very well. I don't mean the convex ones pointed out, I mean when the ball comes to a spot where 2 walls meet. Often the ball will wind up traveling in a straight path after that, and as a consequence, it can become trapped in certain level geometry. It is literally impossible to get the ball out of certain areas. It's also very difficult to get the ball through certain spots, but getting the ball stuck in a tunnel like this is the worst situation. You start with 3 lives, and there are 2 ways that you can lose them. First is to run out of time. The second is for the ball to come into contact with one of these squares that has a skull on it. These squares have some small amount of mobility, and because of that, if the ball gets into certain areas, you're dead and there's nothing you can do. And naturally, some of these stages are larger than a single screen, so the ball can go flying off screen and then you die. The best thing you can do about those skull squares is position your MCU so that it blocks the path to them. But then that prevents you from having any kind of control over the ball and knocking it into the bricks. There are a handful of power-ups to collect. Some of them you collect by running the MCU over them, and others you have to get by knocking the ball into them. Why some work one way and others work the other? Who knows? The T icons have to be collected, and those increase the amount of time you have on the clock. The B's and stars are bonus points, which do absolutely nothing. Hitting a brick with an S in it is supposed to be speed, and while sometimes it will make the ball speed up or slow down, other times it will make it wobbly. There's a panel that will make the ball explode into 3 balls, which I never got on camera because it got hit while it was off screen. And the circle with a 1 in it is a 1-up. There is one more feature in Titan, and I do mean 1. That's right, with 64 stages, they couldn't bother to come up with more than 2 obstacles. You'll sometimes encounter these little green worms. The balls will crush them, but if they come into contact with the MCU, then you'll get stunned for a short period. I found some special quotes from Japanese players about this version of Titan. The game is just as good as the art on the package. I don't remember this at all. Is it a real game? They should have included stripping with it. And sorry, nameless Japanese commenter, I don't think adding nudity to the game would help this one. Titan is aggressively mediocre. A mobile block-breaking game is not the worst concept in the world, but this implementation of the idea is astoundingly unfun. And somehow, it is significantly worse than the Famicom version. And the Famicom version was also bad. The nicest thing I can say about Titan is that I had heard it was packed with bugs, but what I saw I'd attribute to design problems rather than software coding errors. This is a block-breaking game where the controls are bad, the bouncing barely works, and the level design is awful. Titan is a game that does everything wrong. There's just no reason to play it at all.